All right, let's look at this unit here. Okay, this is the BigBlue CP2500 portable power station. It has a built-in lithium iron phosphate battery of 1.8 kilowatt hours. On the AC side, you can charge it at 1200 watts. On the DC side, you can charge with the car charger 12 or 24 volts at 10 amps. It has 3 inputs for solar panels, 12 to 65 volts, 25 amp max. Charging time on the AC is 1.5 hours from 0 to 80%. Car charger is 12 to 14 hours at 12 volts and 6 to 7 hours at 24 volts charged to 80%. Solar panel is 1.5 hours using 6 pieces BigBlue SP200 charged to 80%. On the output side, it's got 6 AC 120 volts, 20.9 amp continuous, 2500 watt, peak 5000 watt, frequency of 50 and 60 hertz. It's got 2 USB 8 fast chargers, 2 USB-C PD 45 watt, 2 USB-C PD 100 watts, 2 DC 5.5 millimeter 12 volt 5 amps 60 watts max, 1 car charger cigarette lighter 12 volts 10 amps 120 watts. Battery cycle life is 3500 to 80% of the original capacity. Weight is 25.3 kilograms. Size is 384 by 274 by 325 millimeters. Now I tested capacity, and out of the 1.8 kilowatt hours of battery, we got 1.2 out of the socket. Here's a very cool feature that I like, and a lot of the other competitors to this don't have. The fans are running, but it only run as fast as they need to. See, I'm gonna increase the power right now, and you hear the fans. There we go. And that's why the fans sped up, but then they throttle down. Now let's put like full power. Let's see, 1300 watts. Okay, it's time to see if it actually can do the published specs, right? So on the solar side, it's supposed to be able to do 12 to 1200 watts, right, through these 3 ports. So right now I have it charging 500 watts with one of these power supplies. I'm gonna put the other one up. Here we go. So 1124. It's got MPPT charging controller, right? So that's why it's fluctuating up and forth, trying to find the best load that it can get. That's about as much as these power supplies will do. Now the other question is, will it also do solar charge and AC charge at the same time? So the AC charging is 1200 watts and the solar is 1200. So will it do 2400 watts? Well, let's see. Okay, so I just plugged in the cable there. There we go. Hey, what happened to the screen? Well, that's interesting. It turned off. Okay, we got it back. I don't know what happened. I just had to disconnect it and let it sit for a little while, and then it just turned back on. So now I just connected the AC charging. See if it'll start. There we go, 1200 watts. Now let's connect the solar. All right, here we go, 1800. Oh, there was a warning signal there. 2300, so it did it for just a tiny bit, and then they'll get the warning signal there. So let's look at the warning signal, what it is. Warning. No? So maybe it's not capable of charging solar and AC at the same time. It kind of wants to do it, but then we get a warning signal, and then it stops. So here's what you get in the box. You get the power station itself, and then you get a solar cable, right, with the MC4 connectors on this side, and then this other round connector, which is the same as this one. Then you get the car charger. So this is so you can charge via your cigarette lighter on your car, and then you get an AC cable so you can charge it off of the wall. That's it. That's all that comes in the box. All right, for size comparison, is smaller, slightly smaller than the Blue 80 AC200, but a little bit bigger than the EcoFlow Delta Max, right? The specs are very similar, and the size, they're about in between both of those competing units. All right, now let's look at the menu here. The screen is very nice. It looks better in real person than it does on the camera here, but it's very simple, yet it has a lot of information. So first, you get 3 buttons on the side here. So state of charge, right? And then 46.4 hours to empty from, calculates whatever is coming out. Right now, there's nothing connected to it, so there's not a lot coming out, but it does have its own losses. So it tells you that it would last you 46 hours, right? So then there's 2 big buttons here. The AC, this is to turn on the AC side, the inverter, and then the DC side to turn on all the DC plugs over here. And then there's just one big button over here. This one over here is to go for settings. You can connect this unit to network settings, to your, or you can connect to it, right? So this serves as an ad hoc network, and so here is the account is BigBlue, that's the name, and then the password is BigBlue 1202. You can set the timing here so that in case there's a fault or anything, you can know exactly at what time it happened. You can set the frequency. This unit is available for worldwide, right? And so some countries are 50 hertz. In the US, it is 60 hertz. Product setting. The sound, you can turn it on and off, and you can also set the time of the screen. Language settings, so there's 3 languages in there. I believe it's Chinese and English. I don't know, maybe Korean is the other one. I don't know. And then it's got another one over here. Touch correction, this is just in case the touch screen is not working, so you can reset it and calibrate it and stuff. And then it just gives you product information there, right? So that's that setting one. Then this one right here will show you if there are any warnings, if there are any faults, right? That something triggered or whatever. Here you'll be able to see what happened and why the unit turned off or whatever. Okay, so this is just a screen that shows you what's happening with the unit, how much power is coming in, right? And then the AC side and on the DC side. You're charging it through solar, it'll be right here. If you're charging via the wall, it's gonna be right here. It's gonna tell you everything about that. And then you can go into the output. So whatever's leaving the unit is the same thing. It'll also show you on the DC side and then the AC side. This is pretty useful and pretty cool. And then GPS, I don't know how it gets to GPS, but maybe it by connecting to the Wi-Fi or something, but it tells you the latitude and longitude of the thing. I don't know how that's useful, but if you need to know where you're at. And then here is my favorite tab. It tells you state of charge, surplus, I don't know what surplus is, to full. It tells you how long it would take if you were charging the unit. Voltage, right? The voltage of the pack, the battery pack. And then temperature. And then to empty, if there was some power leaving the battery, then it calculates how long. And so this is the calculating, right? Just the losses that it's got on standby right now, 46.33 hours. Then, look at this. It even gives you the individual voltages of all 16 cell groups, either cell groups or cells, depending on how that battery's put together. But this is something that us geeky people, right, geek over, right? But like regular people are usually not gonna want to know. But if you ever have a problem and you're not getting the capacity, that you're supposed to get, or the unit is not functioning correctly, this could be used for diagnostics. If one of these cells or the BMS unit in the battery were to fail, then you would see that here in one of these cells, right? As you can see, these are very closely matched. 3.28, 3.28. So it's like most of them are 3.28, 3.27. That's like 2 decimal points back difference, right? So it's like, yeah. The BMS job is to keep these batteries very balanced. And as you go down and up in the thing, then they'll change a little bit, right? But if your unit's is malfunctioning, you can come in here and you see a huge discrepancy between one of the groups or one of the cells here, then that will be the reason why the unit is not working. It's either because of bad BMS or whatever, right? But so this unit right here is very useful for that. So there you go. After that, that's it. It just goes back to the main screen, and that screen is very simple and very soothing. It's got this little thing here, by the way, that it shows you a level as these 22% gets higher, then this little line starts going up here. It just kind of shows you like a graphical thing of like a cup of water or something like that, right? So it's pretty cool, pretty simple. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. It's a pretty cool little graphics that they have in there. All right, so what do I like about this unit here? Well, as you know, the two major competitors is the Blue Eddy and the EcoFlow units, right? The AC200 Max and the Delta Pro Max, right? So those two are compared in specs are about the same. So the thing that I like about Blue Eddy is the fact that they give you a lot of flexibility. They give you all kinds of info, the granular like menus that you can check individual cell voltages. You can set a bunch of things. You can check the temperature of the fans, of the MOSFETs, of the thing, you know, all kinds of stuff, right? Like, so you can go deep in there if you want to, right? On the EcoFlow, what I like is its simplicity, right? So it's good quality components, and it's on par with everything else out there in the market, even better in some stuff, right? But it's very, very simple. I came to like early days of the iPhone and iOS, phone software, that it was super simple. You could only do certain things, but it was, very easy to use. So this unit here, the BigBlue unit here, it's right in between. It's simple to use, that screen and that menu system. It's really easy. I like the simplicity of it. You don't get lost very easily, but it gives you all kinds of info, like more so than you get with EcoFlow, right? So it's not just the size, it's in between those other competitors, but also in the features, it's right in between, right? So both Blue Eddy and EcoFlow at this state, has got expansion capability, so you can add extra battery to this unit, right? On the BigBlue, that's missing here. This battery size, it's all you got, right? And maybe you can do some battery expansion through the solar ports in here, like we were doing the early hacks and stuff. That I will do a future video showing you if that's possible or not, and how well that works out. But yeah, from the factory, they don't offer an expansion battery, right? So an additional battery that you can add more capacity to it. So that's a feature that's missing, but I think it's understandable because of the price point of this one comes lower than both the Blue Eddy and the EcoFlow counterparts. So let's look at this design here. I like how it's square and it's simple. The handles are nice. They have this rubbery feel underneath there, and so they don't protrude. So that's the cool thing about this. On some of the other units, they stick out, and so you couldn't be able to fit them correctly. This ones are built into the units, which is very, very cool. I like the fans, that they're not on 100% of the time, that they speed up only when they need to be, right? And so this unit can get very loud if you're pushing it really hard, but only if you're pushing it really hard. So the fans will stay quiet, sort of like right now, they're on, right? Because the unit's on, but you don't hear them as much because they don't need to move a lot of air. And so that's really cool, and it's really fast. Some other units will stay on for a long time. This one, as soon as you start disconnecting stuff and you turn down the power levels on this, then the fans will turn down. Another thing that I really like is the fact that you don't have to carry a portable, power supply, so you can charge off of the AC, right? Power supply bricks, I hate those things. They're easy to lose, they're easy to break, right? You never have them, you never find them when you need them, right? And so there's just another thing to carry with this unit. With this, all you have to carry is one of these power cables, which are universally used, right? And for computers, so even if you lost yours or you forgot it, very easily you can find this almost anywhere, right? And so I like that design. That's a good feature to have, a built-in, and not only just a built-in charger, but a fast charger at 1200 watts, right? That can charge this fully in about an hour, or to 80% in an hour and a half. Actually, I want to say this one does better than the competition when it comes to the USB-C, right? It's got two of the 100 amp, right? The fast, which is cool because you can charge two laptops at the same time, for example. And then the two of the 45 watt ones, right? So you can fast charge phones and Android tablets and all this other stuff, right? And as well as some of the other little stuff that you can charge in here. This is a good idea to use a small plug, right? Because it's easy to connect or whatever. But there's some advantages to having 3 ports right here, right? So if you're using multiple solar panels, then you don't have to spend money in using parallel, you know, like Ys and all this sort of stuff. That happens inside of this unit here. Now, the bad side is that if you need to extend, get an extension or something like that to put the solar panels farther away, then you have to use 3 cables instead of just 1, right? Because the paralleling happens in here instead of over there, right? So there's some drawbacks to that design also, but yeah, I kind of like this. This is cool. All right, so the BigBlue Power Station is going on sale on Kickstarter on April 19th at 9 a.m. The retail price is going to be $19.99, so about $2,000, right? But the crowdfunding price is going to be $11.99. So for $1,200, $800 savings, you'll be able to get it, right? But if you hurry, then if you're one of the first 300 persons to buy it on Kickstarter, then you'll be able to get it for $9.99. So about half price of the retail, right? So this is a pretty good deal if you're interested in a power station like this, that it's small, light, but very powerful. Then you can get it, and you can get it for about $1,000, which is really good price. Then go ahead and head over to Kickstarter and you can buy your own. I want to thank you for watching this video. We'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you. Bye.